Hi everyone, welcome to A Godly Home. This video is part of the collaboration struggle meals going on at City Girl Homestead. Tonight I am going to show you how to stretch a little bit of hamburger to make a whole lot of burgers. Just washed out my cast iron frying pan and I have it just drying out on the stove. And while that's drying, we're going to start by chopping up an onion. I'm going out Christmas shopping with my mother tomorrow. I'm pretty well done my Christmas shopping, other than like the candy that would go in stockings. I have the regular stocking stuffers, but I need some candy. But we're going to have a good day out, and we're going to go first thing in the morning. I'm probably not going to get home until later than we would normally be eating supper. So I want to stretch this hamburger super far. One, because, struggle meals, and that's what we're doing. But also because I want my husband to have some leftovers. So if he gets hungry before I get home tomorrow night, he's got some leftover burgers. Onions are very, very inexpensive. They are a great stretcher for any meal because you're going to pay a whole lot less per pound for an onion than you are for hamburger. So I'm just mincing this onion up fairly fine. Okay, that looks good to me. All right, now I'm going to get a mixing bowl. And I am going to put my hamburger in there. It's probably a little over a half a pound. I buy it at Sam's Club and then break it up into smaller packages. Okay, now, in addition to adding that onion, I don't know if any of you do this or have done this, but let me know if you have. We are going to add 1 egg. Now, I was always told growing up that if you add just an egg, you get an extra burger. Okay? But we're also adding the onion, which I think is another burger or so. Eggs have dropped in price, as we know now, finally. And so you can add an egg for very, very little money and let that stretch your meals out. All right, here goes the onions. And oh, this gives such good flavor to the burger to put a whole onion right in there anyways. It just brings them to the next level. All right, and then we are going to add some black pepper. And we are going to add some of the Dollar Tree steakhouse seasoning. If you don't have this, you could just add some seasoning salt, regular salt and pepper, whatever you have that you want to add. But we love this. So I'm going to add a decent amount of that in there. Okay, I've got my pan on medium heat. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this up with my hands, which I know some people don't want to do. I mean, you can do it with a fork if you prefer. That egg and onion will also make these burgers nice and moist. Okay. There's one. Two. Three. Four. And five. Fun fact, I do not like a big burger, so I always put some extra in some of them and then make a really small one for myself. Okay, so this is Sunday night, and we are going to make the meal a little more expensive than the other meals that I have made, just because it's Sunday night and we want something a little bit special. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven on. I'm going to do 450 degrees, and I'm going to give us a few frozen French fries that we already have on hand. You could do some chips, you could do some popcorn, you could do some hand-cut fries, you could do potato hash, you could do homemade onion rings if you have an extra onion, even like some carrot sticks and a little bit of ranch dressing. Use what you have per side, but we are going to splurge tonight. It's the store brand crinkle cuts, the 5-pound bag. They're much cheaper by the 5-pound bag than they are in the individual bags. Into the oven they go. Okay, so when money is tight, we don't have multiple kinds of bread. We only have like one kind of bread, and we use it for everything. And that is absolutely no joke. We have used hot dog rolls to put hamburgers in before, to slice them in half and then drop them down into the hot dog roll. We have used hamburger buns for hot dogs before. We have used sliced bread for all of the above. We really don't much care. We just pick a bread item for the week if money is tight, and we use it on everything. Because even if we were arguing that we were going to get hamburger buns, hot dog buns, regular bread, use some, put it in the freezer for next time, we might not have the money all at once that week to buy all those different kinds up front. So we pick one kind and we stick with it. So we will be having this on regular bread. Now, you could toast it in a frying pan with a little butter. You could toast it in the toaster. You could have it plain. You know, there's different ways you can do it. I'll see how Corey wants his. You want your bread toasted in the toaster for your burgers, in the frying pan with a little butter, or plain? Frying pan with butter. Okay, we are going to do these in the frying pan with a little bit of butter. We like our burgers well done. How do you guys like yours? Okay, I've got this margarine butter stuff. I'm going to use that. I got my pan on medium heat. You gonna have 2 burgers tonight or 1? So I'm just gonna spread it with a little butter. So if we can, we'll splurge like this once a week. You know, save some of the better ingredients for a once a week meal that's a little better than the rest. And the reason why is because that will keep you encouraged, whether you're eating frugally because it's an emergency or you're trying to just get some money into savings or whatever. It will keep you encouraged because it feels like you can have a treat even though it's still within budget. And it keeps you like, wow, you know, this isn't bad. I can do this type thing. And all the meals we've had this week have been great. But this is almost like, you know, what you'd get if you go to a restaurant type thing. And we all look forward to a little of something like that. This is 90% lean hamburger, and I didn't use any oil in the pan, so that's why it looks so dry. I would have added a little bit of olive oil normally with 90% lean, but since we are doing this as a struggle meal, I did not. Let's check our bread back here. Okay. It's looking good. Okay, these toast are out. Those toast are in. I turned the burgers down to number 2 on an electric stove so that they don't get overdone while we're waiting on the toast and fries. Okay, luckily I still have some American cheese, so we're going to go ahead and add that. My husband likes his burgers plain, like no condiments, anything like that. So I'm going to put his toast on. And then we'll get him some fries in a minute. And that will still leave him 2 burgers if I'm late tomorrow night. Okay, so mustard. I can go in and I can buy a container of mustard cheaper than I can buy a thing of mayonnaise. So one thing I always do, if money is tight, if I need to buy a condiment, I will stick to the cheaper ones because it's less money out of pocket at the time. So I'm going to do this up like McDonald's, right? I have got onion in the cheeseburger. So we're going to give it a little touch of mustard. And we are going to give it a little tiny touch of ketchup. And then I have got these kosher dill pickles. And I'm going to add 3 of them kosher dill pickles to mine. And I have almost like a McDonald's cheeseburger there. I'm going to cut it. Okay, and I'm going to go get some fries. All right, now I'm going to splurge and add just a little salt to mine, even though I usually try to watch my salt. And then instead of squeezing out a bunch of ketchup for me to dip, I am going to just drizzle the ketchup over the top. That way it doesn't use as much ketchup. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Bye.